Okay, welcome back on Happy Chat. Someone's got me thinking as they enjoyed me chat about coffee. And I suppose I should have asked why, what was it about it? But I was hoping to have coffee and chat about that. But anyway, what I took from it was the healing side of things. And it made me think of so many ways that I know of healing the body in different ways. And the simplest is your breath. There's things like Wim Hof breathing. There's fire breathing. Joe Dispenza's got breathing exercises, do 10 long breaths. And they all work. But it's about the focus that you put into it. And the power that's behind it. Where I could see with myself, or somebody else even, where there may be something, like something that you couldn't lift. Where it was too heavy. And I could find where I go to something like that myself, and yeah, it just wouldn't be liftable, if that's a word. You wouldn't be able to lift it. But if you do breathe in a way and filling your body up with that breath and having the focus of what it's for, you'll be able to go back and lift that, even though you couldn't lift it in the first place. Mind over matter. Yet, it's the mind using the breath for the body, energizing it. And on a more healable scale, or healable, as it's healing the body anyway, it's creating that energy to all of where it needs it to be able to lift what you couldn't lift. So if you think of it in that sense, if you've got an illness in your body, any sort, I might actually show some practices of things that you can do with your body that will help. But breathing. And now, if I do go and show some practices, that don't expect that it's gonna be easy. Some of the things are pretty intense and hard, and even when I don't be always practicing them, but when I do, and I get into my flow, it still be hard. It's not gonna be easy. Nothing's gonna be easy with the click of your fingers. But this is the easiest way I can bring it to you, is breathing and being focused on the breath. It is pretty easy, I suppose, the breathing side of it, but it's catching it right, making it move in the right way with the mind. Obviously, the mind capturing the essence of the body as the breath moves through it. So you're aware of the control that you have of the body. Moving every little, let's say, cell in that area. So when it's going down through your nose, or it's the way I like to breathe, through my nose and out through my nose. I don't think our mouth was so much for breathing, it was more for creating tones, vibrations. I was going to say speaking, but I don't believe it was for speaking at all. We created words out of vibration, out of the tones. I think we should really keep it shut and go by reactions of people, catch their feelings through their actions. Tell so much more about a person. But the breathing side of things, if I'm going to use this as an example, say you had a muscle and you strained it. What's something stronger? Say it's, I'm going to take away from that. Make it an internal pain. Obviously that's internal because it's under your skin, so on. Sometimes I don't get these meanings or metaphors that English do put on it. As it's kind of a contradiction sometimes. But if you think deep within you, there's a pain, an ache. Wherever that ache is, that when you're breathing, like slowly, like that. Now, there was a moment there I held the breath, a slight moment. Now, to where I was thinking of a pain here. Not that I have a pain here, but if I had, and I was breathing to there. So, in my mind, and in how I was directing the breath and could see and feel the breath, it was moving down my body and coming into here. When I held the breath, here was grabbing the breath and holding it. And as it held it, it took away, it grabbed onto the darkness, the negativity of whatever was causing that pain there. And as I breathed out, it was releasing it again, up the body and back out the nose. Now, if you do this in cycles and repeat it regular and get used to controlling the breath in that way, then you'll be able to heal in that area. Now, scientific side, medical side, I'm none of that. I'm just like you. I just learned different ways that work for me in healing. I don't go to a doctor. I've been sick in many forms. Yet I've never been sick where I've needed to that extreme sickness where I need a doctor. Last year maybe I came to break my foot in several places, fracture my leg. Now I can't prove that, but if I went and go and get an x-ray, I'm sure you could see the marks in the bone. Possibly. I believe that could be healed. But anyway, I went over on my leg, and for 8 months it took it to heal properly. It been me heel mostly. My heel, my foot, my leg, it all got it. But that was because I didn't give myself enough nourishment. And there was 2 nights I did sit and I could have cried. The pain, it was that bad. I didn't take painkillers or anything like that. I wrapped it the same way as you put a cast on the leg. Obviously it wasn't a cast, I just wrapped it with bandages. And I used certain stuff that you would get in your kitchen to help heal. Internally and externally. But because I kept walking on it and didn't sit up and rest, which is my big issue, it took so long. It wouldn't have taken as long if I had a rest. But my body healed itself. It didn't need for any pharmaceutical medicine to take away that pain or to heal the tissues that was damaged, whether it be the bone, the tendons, the muscle, whatever. The body done it itself. With the belief of what the breath done, obviously in the kitchen can be very powerful too, but mainly the breath, because the breathing is keeping everything going, instead of just being a flat line. It's got its rhythm. And as long as it's kept going, then the energy's kept moving. And your body instantly wants to repair something when it's damaged. Like when you cut your finger, it'll start to heal, blot up and create a scab. There's a thing I read, when a child is born, I'm not saying you do this, I don't know where it came from, but and I can't prove it, but I've great belief in it. If you chop the finger, the toe, whatever off, it would grow back, because they don't have that conscious mind of everything that darkens it. It's just pure light as you're born, and you know that as you see through your eyes. All you see is light in forms of energy. So if you chopped that toe off and that energy was pure inside of that child, then that would grow back again without any darkness or influence of beings. Obviously, that becomes a problem when the child is born, because it's been influenced straight away. But there is that understanding of how and why that would work through science. And you'd have to look into that through science. Obviously, me saying it, you're just going to think, woohoo. That's okay. But if that's what you're thinking, but yet you're listening, maybe you should go and check the science of it. Because it's telling you something. But yeah, the healing. It's maybe something more I'll go and look at, but sharing. But breathing. Being aware of your breath, how you're moving it, to where, what it's doing. This is powerful. And you know your body's healing itself automatically anyway, as I say, when you cut your finger. Now, you don't place attention on that your body just automatically does that. Now, imagine what you could do if you placed attention on that, and how fast you could actually heal. Because you're doing it without even paying attention. So mind over matter, and we all know it works. It's like you don't get anywhere in the physical part of life unless you put your mind to it. The physical body brings you there, but you can't do that unless you're guided by the mind. And the same with healing. Your body's automatically healing in the physical side, but that's coming from your subconscious mind or a higher intelligence that's within you. I like to think of it as the soul. But if you connect with your soul and bring that awareness to the area, then the body will heal itself. That's not to say if something happened or whatever, not to go to a doctor. Obviously, there's people in these areas, in these fields, that have some quality information that can help. And I'm not talking about your regular doctor that'll give you a prescription for everything. I'm talking about people that know about the body, know about the healing properties of the body, the design of the body, how everything's interlinked to each other, like acupuncture, stuff like that. But yes, maybe there's something in the future to come on that, in the healing side of things. But if you have any issues and you're concerned, you need to lose that. The concernment. I know it's a thing that's out there at the moment, to be concerned about that. Don't be concerned. Just think it's so idiotic. It's not, but it is in my way of thinking, because if you're being concerned about something, then you're bringing a negative vibration. That's what I mean. And there's no need for that. The negativity is already there. What's needed is positivity. So you want a positive vibration coming to it, not a negative vibration. God forbid, but if someone was laying up sick in bed in a hospital, I'm trying to pick the worst places, so you get to see where I'm coming from. So it's going to have that negative vibration, especially in a hospital, as it's where you go when you're sick, when you're not able to look after yourself, or you need help, or that's the way it's been seen. So when everybody comes in to visit you, you're already in a negative vibration, and you're trying to get to a better vibration in the hope and faith that the hospital and the staff that's working there is going to bring you around to a better state. But because you're in a hospital, and because it's a place where people get sick in many forms, then that's always there. And you've always that in here. So no matter what happens, that's always going to be there. Now, so it's going to come down to the vibration of the medicines you take, the staff and how they treat you, and whereabouts you are in the hospital, how you're interacting with the hospital. As I see now lately, or where I live, everything's separated. Everyone has their own wee unit, good and bad. So when people come to visit you, in their minds is the illness that you have, and praying and hoping that you get better. but they're basing it all on your illness, sending that vibration that you're ill, that you need to get better. And you're sending that back that I'm ill, I need to get better. So think of it this way. You're laid up there and you're like feeling great mentally. As in, you're ready to go for a run. You've never felt as healthy in your life. You feel like you're 21 again. That even though you've used up all these years, you're only learning about who you really are and how powerful you are in how your body heals. It's miraculous. You are. And as you're thinking that energy starts to come around to feel that way, then you're like shifting and thinking, yeah. And then start picturing what it was like when you were 21 or whenever you were the healthiest in your life. And when you get to that feeling, you start thinking of even better than that, of how advanced from that you would love to be. And you start sensing it even more. So then everybody that comes in is thinking, you're like 21 again. Look at the energy that's vibrating off you. It's brilliant. You're going to be out of here in no time. Why are you not up running already? You know, things like that. Seeing them already healed instead of thinking about them getting better. Seeing them healed and seeing them coming, leaving with you from the hospital. Seeing them that they're going to be at home when you go to visit them, that they're going to be home with you on the way back, and they're going to want to drive, they're going to want to do everything, they're going to want to stop off and go to the child's play place so they can run around like a big child. So they've got all that energy within them, and that's how we need to go when we're going to visit people that's sick, is see that energy, give off that vibration, no matter what way they are on the surface level. And obviously it's not as easy as it's said, but when you look at the vibration you're giving off, if it was put into that way, you're creating the mind to help the body heal. You're also creating many minds to empower that mind and bringing in more vibrations. And when you're seeing it in action of the body, you're bringing in even more vibrations as if it is happening right now in here in the physical. And not only that, in the vibration of it all, there's things that you can say with tones, creating tones with your mouth, vibrations to heal, like prayer. And with that belief that they're already healed, and with the prayer and the vibrations, then they will heal. I've said this before. The three amigos, Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, Joe Dispenza. Greg Braden, I believe it was, has a video showing how a tumour disappeared in the brain by people having a belief that the tumour was gone and repeatedly saying a word, I don't know what it was, but producing a vibration. Maybe it was something like hum, and repeating it. And hum would be ideal, I believe. Sound of everything. But repeating it, and that belief around the person, when they could see the tumour on the screen, they could see the tumour sinking and sinking and sinking to nothing. So why did that happen? And the only answer that I have is the vibration that was give off to it. And that you can give off that vibration within yourself, and other people can do it too. We all do it. But what do we all focus on? We all focus on the negativity of the world, so we create more and more of it. So if you're sick or have any illness in any way, and I pray to God that you don't, I truly mean that. I hate seeing people sick or ill or even angry, frustrated. It's a bad vibration to have. But to remember that your body heals itself. That's one of the most important things to remember, because when you're remembering that, you can go off with other thoughts that stem around that and build on it until it's like a glowing ball and spreading, which is what you're going to become if you keep doing it. A glowing star on the earth. And just whatever it may be, if you are in this way, and even if you're not, to understand and grow that anyway within you, that your body heals itself, and that you can make that even stronger, that vibration within you, by staying focused on how you're thinking and creating new neural pathways in your brain that has that belief. So you're not going to always have to think of it so much. It's going to be like making coffee. You're going to automatically go straight to the point. It's going to be direct. That line's going to be created, that new neural pathway. It's not out there searching to see where it has to connect to fully completed circuit. It's going to be complete. It's going to have made that circuit of making the coffee and understanding how it's made the coffee. And the more times you've went through that circuit of making the coffee, then it'll be direct instantly. You don't have to think about it. It will be automatically healing the body. As the body does it, does do it itself. But when you're putting more thought and building that wee tree of thoughts to back it up, then think of how fast your body can heal, and how powerful it can be to heal whatever happens to it. As no matter what happens to the body, it's caused by the body, whether it be outside impact or something internal. The body creates it. Now, to me, I don't want to go too deep into it, because if I'm talking about outside impacts and influences coming at you, you could say, oh, well, what if something hit you and caused an accident or whatever? Well, there's an explanation for that, for why that happened in the first place. But that's another video. But if you keep in your mind focused on being the healthiest that you could be, then you will be only helping who you are on that physical plane, and obviously the spiritual plane, but one goes with the other. So didn't think this was going to go on so long, but yeah, hopefully this can, actually I know it can help you. It helps me, and I'm no different than anyone out there. We're all the same in the way that we heal. Now obviously people have different healing probabilities within them, but that probability that you may have at healing is influenced by your way of thinking. Everything's influenced by your way of thinking. And sorry, this just came to me. And to to anyone that has gluten allergies, don't be attacking me for this, but if you have and you're thinking of it that way, well, then you're only increasing it. And that was just using that as an example. I've got nothing against. If you have it, you have it. There's nothing to say that you don't have it. I'm just saying your way of thinking is influencing it. If you thought different that you didn't have it, maybe you mightn't have it. I'm not saying that you won't, just saying you mightn't. It might start to disappear. As like the healing of a cut. Anyway, this is Happy Chappy. Love and peace to you all.